Hey guys, Ian here with the Old School Labs, and as I mentioned in my previous video, after watching the Tampa Pro 2020, I came up with a couple of ideas, or was suggested a couple of them. By the way guys, if you have any ideas about some interesting topics for a video, please suggest it down below. I will make sure to take them into consideration, but right now, we're gonna deal with this topic that you can see right here in the title of this video, in the thumbnail of the video. Could Hunter crack the top 5 or top 4, or whatever would he do? Could he win the 2019 Tampa Pro? So he won the 2021, and this was the year of insecurity about are the shows gonna even happen? Or are we going to be alive today? Or are we gonna have a zombie apocalypse tomorrow? So this is an insecure year, and so many bodybuilders decided not to compete, and some of them couldn't travel. So it was a kind of a handicap year for bodybuilding. And I'm not taking anything away from Hunter. He's a great champion. He absolutely deserved this victory, and he looked absolutely amazing. And as I said before, I can see him winning the Mr. Olympia in the future. It's a possibility. But this year, the lineup wasn't super deep. I mean, yeah, this is just Tampa Pro. It's not Olympia. It's not Arnold's. But last year, 2019, the lineup at the Tampa Pro was much deeper. So check it out. Wow, what an amazing lineup. So, you had Charles Griffin, you had, just kidding, of course, this is the second lineup or the third one. This is the actual lineup that you had, so wow, this is really an amazing lineup. Right there in the middle, battling for the trophy or the sword, were Dexter Jackson and Luke Sando, rest in peace. On Luke's right, you have Ian Valliere, who was second this year, and who looked actually much better the year before. I mean, he wasn't as developed, but he was much better peaked. He wasn't off. On the far left, next to Ian, you have Hassan Mostafa, and this guy is an absolute freak. On the hard right, you have Lucas Osladil and Milan Sadek. Both of these guys on the right, I don't see them as potential winners of Tampa Pro 2020 or pretty much any year. I don't think these guys could be able to beat Hunter, no. But they are pretty good, I mean, for top 6. What we're going to look at is the 4 guys on the left. So, Dexter Jackson, Luke Sando, Ian Valliere when he's on, and Hassan Mostafa. Could young Hunter win his pro debut if one of these guys were there and if Ian was on as he is right here, if his glutes were as straighted as they are right here? So take a look at this. Ian Valliere took the 3rd spot in the Tampa Pro last year. So he did make a leap this year, but it wasn't what he was hoping for, especially if you consider the fact that he was battling against somebody who just turned pro, who had a pro debut, Hunter Labrada. Here you can see that he was just much better than he was in 2020, right? I mean, you can see the arms, they're big and full, the chest is big and full, the glutes are separated, the hamstrings are showing, the back is also separated and deep. He was in much better shape, much better shape. So could this version of Ian beat Hunter? In my opinion, yes. I do think so. I mean, he is just freakier, just bigger and more conditioned, and here he is full, not flat. Here you can see Ian in the finals of 2020 Tampa Pro. Now, he was much better in the finals, but you can see that glutes were not as they were the year before, or anything else, really. So he was way off. That's why he lost. Even though he improved quite a bit for the finals, the show is actually the prejudging. The finals is basically just another comparison and awards. You know, the show, you can't win a show during the finals. Only maybe if it is super duper close, and then the finals can maybe make a little difference. But basically the show is the prejudging. But even like this, even improved Ian wasn't better than Hunter. So I think Hunter deserved this victory. Anyways, but Ian, with his 2019 shape, would beat Hunter in my opinion. Just bigger, freakier, more conditioned, more mature, and that's pretty much it. That does it for me. Do we even need to go over this one? The winner of Tampa Pro 2019, the Blade, Dexter Jackson, who was actually on, whose legs were full again, and who was as conditioned as he can be, showing us the true meaning of his nickname, the Blade. It's not because he's a vampire and he doesn't age, it's because he is super conditioned. He's cut. He is sharp, like a blade. And I mean, with this conditioning and with this kind of development, I mean, with this kind of genetics, like having everything literally, Like having good quads, good chest, good shoulders, good, I mean, not good, insane arms, a great back. I mean, being shredded all over, like head to toe. I mean, not very many can beat this. It's a really hard shape to beat. Only a handful can beat him. So, yeah, you guys know who I'm talking about, who can beat him. Guys like William Bonek, Brandon Curry, of course, Hadi Chopin, and the other guys that are really in the top, like if Rolly is on and so on. As for the current active bodybuilders, Hunter, can he beat Dexter when Dexter is on like this? Hell no. Dexter's age, not a factor for a while now. So, 2019 version of Dexter Jackson absolutely annihilates, blows out of the water any kind of version of Hunter Labrada that we saw so far. Maybe in the future Hunter will surpass him, I hope so, but as for now, Hunter is just like a different league. Dexter is just far better. What about the juggernaut, Luke Sando, rest in peace? Could he, with his shape, 2019 Tampa Pro, which was pretty good shape for him. It wasn't Arnold Classic 2019, don't get me wrong, it wasn't his best shape ever, but it was a good shape. He was conditioned. Look at the glutes right here. And that was Luke's problem, the conditioning. He actually figured it out in the end, and that's why he took that third spot at the Arnold and that second spot at the Tampa. He only took second because the show was stacked. You had Dexter freaking Jackson to the blade, right? So Luke, as big as he is, as full as he is, and with this kind of conditioning, just I don't see Hunter beating this insane kind of mass and development combined with good conditioning. I don't see it. I think Luke is far better bodybuilder than Hunter, of course, when he is on, and in Tampa Pro 2019 he was on. So that's 3 guys, in my opinion, that would beat Hunter. I made a little mistake before when I talked about the top 4, and actually the 4th spot wasn't Hassan Mustafa, it was actually Lucas Osladil. The reason for this is simply conditioning. This guy knows how to come sharp. He sometimes brings that Andreas Munzer kind of conditioning. And he's a pretty good poser, but his posing is odd. And I'm sure that he is posing the way he's posing because that's the best way for him to present his physique. And he had a lot of success for somebody with this kind of genetics. So he doesn't have the best genetics, not by a close margin, but he knows how to present himself in the best light possible, and he can come super diced. Would this version of Lucas Osladil be able to beat Hunter Labrada? It's possible. I mean, I wouldn't like to say that because I don't like the genetics and the shape of this guy, but conditioning is really important, and this guy can come sharp. But if I had to choose a winner, I would go with Hunter because of his completeness, development, and the genetics pretty much. I mean, this guy is conditioned, but that's about it. That does it for him. That's all he is pretty much, and that's why he's in these pro ranks, because he can come super sharp, and he has a certain amount of muscle. He has a decent symmetry, but he doesn't have the good proportions or the shape. His shape is horrible. So, yeah, I don't think he would beat Hunter. But I wouldn't be so sure about the 5th spot finisher. I mean, as crazy as it sounds. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the judges didn't make a mistake. I'm sure this was the way it was supposed to be. Here you can see why, because of the glutes. He didn't have the sharpest glutes on that stage. Lucas had more conditioned glutes, and overall he was more conditioned. But this guy is an absolute freak, especially in his lower body. I mean, those legs are super insane. Hunter is not lacking that department by any means. But overall, like, who is bigger freak? You know, it's hard to tell. I guess you can say that this guy looks more freaky, but he doesn't have as good of a symmetry and proportions like Hunter does. So if you talk about the freakiness, yeah, lower body of this guy is super crazy, but overall, I don't think he would beat Hunter. So, in my opinion, Hunter Labrada, with his 2020 Tampa Pro winning shape, would place in the top 4 in 2019 Tampa Pro. I do think this was an extraordinary package from him. His best by far. He gained, as he says, 25 pounds of stage weight, and he was more conditioned. So let's say it's, I don't know, 30 pounds of muscle. Guys, that's a lot. That's a lot. And if he keeps progressing, not at this rate, with 30% of this rate, wow, he's gonna make huge gains, and I can't wait to see him progress. And I'm sure he will, because this guy loves to train and to make progress. He loves the off season, and that's what makes a good bodybuilder. One who is absolutely devoted throughout the whole year. But he got lucky, kind of. I mean, this year to win his pro debut. It was a weak lineup at the Tampa Pro. If he was colliding against the other guys that were there in 2019, and if Ian was actually on, I don't think he would do as well. But he was there. He was at the perfect time, at a perfect place, and he won, and he deserved it. And that's all that matters. He won his pro debut, and that's amazing. So I'm not taking anything away from Hunter. I'm just saying 2019 Tampa Pro had more harsh competition, and I don't think he would place that well if he was competing against those guys, if they were as they were in that year. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you have any ideas about future videos, mention down below. If you have anything to say about this one, if you agree with me or you disagree, please let me know down below in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more bodybuilding videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.